Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to discuss whatever topics you might like to discuss and whatever issues of life that you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here because God is concerned about that which concerns you. You may discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss dating, relationships, marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here live in 3D, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock. The water collects in a natural artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is Earth's finest water. And for those of you who continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life Delaware, and those of you who have made a monthly commitment to support the broadcast, we thank you for your commitment and your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here to address whatever topics are of importance to you and whatever issues of life you find challenging and that you find difficult to navigate. So I need to say to all of our listeners and viewers, I know you're probably just getting connected. We had a little technical difficulty this morning due to the fact that we are having our systems upgraded so that we can expand our platforms. We are having a little technical difficulty. So we're live now, right here as always, in 3D, on Facebook and on YouTube. So thank you for tuning in and thank you for your patience. We are in the process of expanding our platforms to include Radio Free Network, which is going to give us some additional opportunities to provide you with platforms that you can tune in every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, wherever you are across the U.S. and wherever you are around the globe. So, as you can see today, I am in casual attire, and the reason is because this is normally the week when we have our golf tournament this coming Saturday. It's usually the second or third weekend of May. So we have golf sponsors during this season because we want to make sure that we are able to raise funds for our college tours and to do everything that we need to do to further our Achievers Academy and our Achievers Golf Academy. So I was reminded that we were supposed to begin that on yesterday. Of course, you saw I was in suit and tie, but today we are in golf attire. Now, this is the season where we all need to be focused on our health and wellness, particularly if you're in the Northeast. Now, I know for those of you who live in warmer climates, you have the opportunity year-round to really focus on your health and wellness, being outside, getting some fresh air, getting workouts in, playing tennis, running, walking, whatever you do to improve your health and wellness. But for those of us who live in four seasons, this is really the time of year where we begin really getting outdoor exercise. And the reason is because we have winter here. But having said that, I want to remind everyone to focus on your health and wellness as we are focused on right now making certain that students are able to get out and play golf. We are not having our annual golf tournament this year due to the pandemic. However, we were reminded that we still have golf sponsors, so I am making certain that we do our part as they do their part to support everything that we do moving forward. We will be having our annual golf tournament in May of next year. There's been some conversation about doing something in the fall. We'll keep you posted on that also, and thank you all for your continued support and your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you and your husband are getting a divorce. And you are not certain what single life will look like for you moving forward. However, he has made it clear that he wants to be single again. And so the two of you have decided that you're going to divorce and go your separate ways. So, there's a lot of this going on right now. There's actually a whole topic about this, and it is called gray divorce or silver divorce. And there's a whole dialogue going on about this and articles being written about this, that what happens often is that people of our generation, because you did say in your communication that you have children who are young adults and all of that, I get it. You're not certain what life is going to look like moving forward. There is a couple of issues going on here, and I want to address them because this is important for everyone, so I'm really delighted that you sent in this communication. One of the challenges that we find with people, now you're a little younger than myself, but still, you're old enough that you would be considered a baby boomer. And often what people are saying occurs is that when boomers like ourselves become older, and some people like to use the term more mature, okay, we find that children are grown, they've moved away from home, they're out on their own, living their own lives, and now it's just the two adults who are in the household together, who have been together since they were young adults. And what often happens is that when the children leave the nest, we find that what we thought we had in common in our 20s and maybe at 30, we no longer have in common at 55 and 60, and some of us above 60 and 65. And we find that we've grown, but we're not the same people we were when we were 25 and 30. And for that, to God be the glory. Now what we have to recognize is that we've built a quality of life together. Find ways to enjoy the quality of life together. People are tired from raising children. People are tired from being parents. They've got their job done, and suddenly, in your husband's case, soon to be ex-husband's case, he's decided he wants to be single again. What he'll find out when he gets out there is that it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Let's just keep it real. However, your concern is what life looks like moving forward. And let's be clear about this. Being single means being not just an individual, but being alone until either you start another relationship and develop another relationship, and I'm really not sure who wants to do that all over again, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. The reality is that you've built a quality of life, learn to enjoy that quality of life, and you don't have to try to figure out how you're going to do everything together, because you may find things that one enjoys and the other does not, but at least try it out. And if it's something you can enjoy, then enjoy it together. But if not, then find the things you enjoy doing and do them, and whatever you can do together, do together. Unfortunately, your husband wants to be single again. He wants to find out what that looks like all over again. You're going to have to now build your life on the quality of life that you've already established. So sit down and decide what you want to accomplish and experience moving forward, both personally and professionally. And and I know you're going to say, well, at this point in time, is it really beneficial? You're a new listener, relatively new listener. Someone encouraged you to tune in. And we welcome you and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. But here's the thing. Write a 7-year plan. I can always go back to that. Write a 7-year plan and decide what you want to accomplish for the next 7 years. Now, you didn't tell me this in your communication, but God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. You are now 55 years of age. And the next 7 years will take you right to 62. What is it that you want to accomplish personally and professionally during that period of time? And then we can move on from there. But what does that look like for you? So you have a career. Focus on your career. Your children and young adults. You'll want to be engaged and active in their lives as much as they will allow you to be. That's a whole nother topic of the Daily Divine Direction, because children are going to decide what they want to do based on the culture that we're living in. And that's a whole different dynamic. But you're going to have to decide what you want your quality of life to look like moving forward. And then you're going to have to build that on the quality of life that you've already established during your marriage. Because that's not void just because your husband decided he wanted to be single again. That's not void. Let me rephrase that. There is a quality of life that's been established. You have to decide how you're going to build on that. Now, I will say to you that I'm going to pray for both of you that you both find peace in all of this. Because the issue that you have right now is that he is going on his way. He's on this single journey, and it's all part of what the dialogue we're hearing and the articles that are being written about gray and silver divorce, that people are feeling that their marriage is no longer important because the children are now grown and have gone their way. But what about the quality of life that you've built? That's the long-term goal. That's the end game, for lack of a better term. To grow old together gracefully and with joy of the Lord and with good health, good quality of life, great quality of life. That has to be the goal for each and every one of us. Unfortunately, you now have to be single because he's chosen to be single. That wasn't your choice. So I want to take a moment to address all of our listeners and viewers and say this. Marriage is a marital contract. It is holy matrimony. It is designed with the purpose of being together until death do us part. We know divorce happens. But there has to be something more, abuse, destruction of quality of life. There has to be something more that makes you decide when you wake up in the morning, I'm going to change everything for the purpose of change. It can't be that. It's a disruption of the quality of our lives. So we have to focus on building, developing, and maintaining and preserving the quality of life that we have built and established. Because we have to remember, when you start on this journey, you started out with love, and when you put God in the midst, that love will live on forever. So let's not succumb to popular culture of just doing what society is doing just because society says it's okay to do it. Let's try to follow the path that God has purposed for all of our lives and experience the fullness of God. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you can become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. And I want to say this so that no one misinterprets what I'm saying. Divorce does happen. As we grow older, hopefully we get a better understanding of how to continue to move forward in life. And whatever, I truly know what causes divorce. And that is that the person we selected was not the person God had appointed for our lives. What God joins together, let no man put asunder. But part of the problem is that so often the reason divorce occurs is because God didn't join us together. We chose someone that we wanted. And so often that comes to an end. So if we do our part as we move forward in life, all of you single people out there, if we do our part and date with purpose and make certain that we are expecting and accepting the person that God has appointed for our lives. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that every time you go to your significant other with a problem, he wants to solve the problem. And you want to know, how can you get him to understand that you don't need him to fix everything or solve everything, every problem. You just need him to listen. Okay, so here's what you need to know. And I'm just going to give it to you real straight. I'm going to give it to you the way that you will understand, and without being offensive, hopefully. Men and women are wired differently. Let's just get that understanding first and foremost. Men and women are wired differently. Also, in any relationship, everyone brings their own life experiences and their own methodology of living life into the relationship. Now, this isn't your husband you're talking about. This is your significant other. The person you're involved in a relationship with, and you have been for a period of a few years. You didn't go into any specific period of time, but God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. So you know who you're dealing with. You know how he's wired. And most men are wired that way. If you bring us a problem, we're wired to solve the problem. Now, there's exceptions to every rule, but we're wired to think rationally how to solve the problem. You're saying you don't want to solve the problem, you want to listen. So, and I'm probably going to get some emails about this, but that's okay. You can send them to me, newlifepastor@comcast.net. I love receiving your emails, but I'm probably going to get some emails about this one. But here's the truth. If you don't want him to fix the problems, those are probably conversations you need to have with a sibling who's a female, or your dearest girlfriend, someone who's not going to repeat whatever you want to discuss. You may find moments when he will listen, but let me rephrase that. He's always going to listen, but he's going to always want to solve the problem. And the reason, because if you bring men a problem, we are wired to solve a problem. We are just wired to immediately respond to whatever the problem is. Now, that doesn't mean that it's always going to be brought to a successful resolution immediately, but it does mean we're going to start processing how to solve the problem. That's who we are. That's how God made us. That's how God wired us. So he's not doing anything out of the norm. He's listening. He's responding. And thank God you have someone who's willing to respond to the problem. Because you could have the outlier who, meaning the exception to the rule, who just doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's not going to do anything about it. The relationship is convenient for him. The relationship is entertainment for him. You could have one of those. But you don't. Thank God for what you do have. That you bring him a problem, he's at least trying to process the problem and give you suggestions or recommendations on how the problem can be solved. If you don't want him solving the problem, don't bring him the problem. If you don't want him to try to fix the problem, don't bring him the problem. Talk to your sister, talk to your closest girlfriend, who will just listen, and in most cases, they're not going to try and solve it because they're not wired that way. They may discuss it with you. They may even join in with you complaining about the problem, but they're not going to solve it. Once again, there's going to be outliers. There's going to be exceptions to the rule, depending on who your best girlfriend is or what personality your sister may have, your sibling may have. Your significant other is not doing anything that any other man on this planet would do who is wired the way that we are all wired. And that is, if you bring us a problem, we're going to try to solve it or we're going to try to fix it. I am not going to sit here and tell you that there's another way to get him to do something or to understand something completely different than what he's capable and competent to understand. It's our wiring. It's the motherboard that is inside of us. It's the way God has created man to be. And that is who we are. And all I can say to you is thank God you have someone who's willing to be engaged, who's willing to try to solve problems or fix problems. You know, we sometimes have to process it first. We've got to think about the best method of solving the problem. We've got to think about the best method of fixing the problem. You know, but inevitably, we'll get there. And then we're going to try to give you the best method that we think is going to resolve the issue and bring it to a successful resolution. But that's who we are. You can't live with us, you can't live without us. It's just who we are. And so I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, sometimes it's good to just look at the practical side of things. And the practical side of things sometimes is simply that this is just the way God has done something. And live with that. It's not really that complicated. Some things we don't have any control over. God has not assigned us the responsibility of controlling them. Some things just are because that's the way God created them. That's the way God decided that he wanted to create. And we should be thankful for that. This segment of the broadcast today is brought to you by Warrior Custom Golf, located in Irvine, California. Times have changed. There's no need to spend money for let me rephrase that. Spend big money for great golf clubs. Warrior believes you should have the ultimate experience with quality golf clubs that don't break the bank. WarriorCustomGolf.com. You can go to their website. If you are a golfer or you know anyone who's a golfer, you can order custom clubs at WarriorCustomGolf.com. They will custom fit the perfect set of golf clubs for you. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your husband has been offered a great business opportunity. However, you feel the opportunity is going to have a negative impact on how much time he has available for your family. Okay. So let me first of all say this. To God be the glory for the opportunity that he's been given. You didn't go into any detail, but God allowed me to see in that secret place of your lives. This is a great opportunity. And I'm going to say to you, yes, it is going to mean that there's going to be some adjustments in the time that you both have for the family. There's going to be some adjustments in the time that he's going to be able to spend with the children as opposed to the time that you're going to be able to spend with the children. But however, I will tell you this, give this 2 years, because God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. He will navigate the circumstances effectively and efficiently. He will find the method to navigate this. It's just going to take some work from both of you. He will navigate. In the interim, obviously you'll be spending more time with the children. He will be spending less time with the children than he's spending currently. But he will find a way to navigate this so that he still has time with the family, but that he's able to pursue this business opportunity. It's going to take 2 years to do that. But when this comes to an end, what I mean when I say that is, when he gets into his rhythm and he gets to a place where he's confident about the business, the administration of the business, the development of the business, the management of the business, the marketing, the operations, when he gets to a place that he's confident about what's being done, how it's being done, and he sees the path to success, he will have navigated all of this so that he can spend time with the family and still get done what needs to be done to make the business opportunity successful and to maximize the success, because that has to be the result of this opportunity, so that it can be the blessing that God has purposed for the life of your family. This will be a blessing for your family. But however, it is going to take some adjustments for both of you. And I'm going to encourage you to just be patient and allow your husband to navigate the process over the next couple of years. you'll get to where God has purposed your family to go. What God is doing is going to bless your family exceeding abundantly above all that you can ask or think. This is a great opportunity.